Hey guys, Dash here again. Hey, I wanted to share with you another experience of mine on adding LED lights to my 1025R, as well as building my own steel light rack that replaces the top portion of the ROPS. This video is a complement to many other channels that have already posted similar videos on how to install lights on your 1025 or other subcompact tractors. So for those of you who watched videos like this before, this may be a little bit repetitive, but I hope you gain some value out of my experience that I'd like to share. In particular, I want to share with you why I did it this way. I also want to share with you how I did it step by step, or at least almost most of the steps in general. And I want to share with you a few other methods of doing it. So for example, there are many other products out there. There are many other easier and more time-effective options for doing this. I will admit that this is probably the long approach to doing this. Like many others, there are some factors that I have to consider, such as being able to get in my garage, and that is probably the main factor. I live in North Dakota, so I do a lot of snow removal, and one of the aspects of having the 1025R, at least the models that are 2017 and newer, is that the ROPS, the way that they fold kind of up and slightly tilting forward, and that would be fine in the summertime, and especially when working out in the open field or in open areas. The other option is to tilt it back so where it's facing back a little bit. Now that extends the length of your tractor overall by a couple of feet. I haven't measured it, but that is particularly an issue when working in tight spaces. Now the 1025R is able to fit into tight spaces, and that's one of the advantages of having that tractor. But when you add that few extra feet of length to the back, it becomes challenging to get into some spaces. So part of the reason why I took the top part of that ROPS off is because I want to make my tractor as nimble as possible so I can get in between tight spaces when plowing snow. As you'll see in the video, the lights are adjustable, so you can turn them any way you want to. You can take them off. They're not particular to the rack that I built. They have magnets on them, so you can stick them to the ROPS, or as long as it's metal, it'll stick. So hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you learned something. Any other methods on how to do this, please share and comment below. And I'll put some links in the description on some of the products that I used and where you can find them and so forth. So hope you like it. Thanks. The height is 82 inches. Six inches from the top of the lights to the top of the door. I originally built this light rack a few months ago, and as you can see, I have two of the Nilight. They're about 3-inch floodlights. They gave plenty of light, except I just needed a little bit more. More light is always better, so I wanted to stick two more on. Nilight makes about 6-inch floodlights that I'm going to put on this facing forward as well. The one that faces the rear is one of the lights from Harbor Freight. I don't even know what brand that is. It's a great light. It's a little bit more expensive though, probably higher quality. Here you can see the new lights. Like I said, they're about 6 inches or so. They're floodlights. Not the most high quality, but they're also come at a very reasonable price. This 2-pack cost me about 27 bucks. And it comes with two pigtails. One is red for the power and one is black for the ground. And I'm just going to wire these into my existing wiring harness that I made. This is about where I'm going to place them. There's going to be one here and then one on the other side of the middle light that faces towards the rear. As I mentioned, these are the Nilight brand. They are great lights and they're very cost effective, very cheap. They come with all the necessary hardware. And they also have these brackets that are adjustable up and down, and you can also adjust them left and right. So there's quite a bit of adjustments to them. And they also come with a 2-year limited warranty as well. So this is that bracket that I mentioned. These are the bolts that go into the side of the light. There's 2 on each side. And then this is the bolt that goes into the middle that I'm going to use to mount to the magnets that I bought from Harbor Freight. And this is simply just how the light adjusts along that track to adjust them up and down. These are the magnets. There are 2 different types of magnets you can buy at Harbor Freight. These are the smaller ones. They're 2-inch. The other ones are, I don't know what size they are, but they have a 95-pound holding force. But these magnets, I had to drill out the center hole so that I could fit that bolt through it. You can buy these magnets at Harbor Freight for about $5 each. And this is what it looks like with the bolt through it. As you can see, it protrudes a little bit, so I have to cut the remaining portion of it off in order for it to fit. So when I originally built my light rack, I used 1-inch square stock. I wish in hindsight I would have used a thicker stock, probably, or a wider stock I should say, probably 2-inch at least. Either way, for the bigger magnets, I had to make a platform basically for them to rest on and magnet to. So I built these little, I don't know what you call them, extender pieces. It's just some angle iron that makes a wider platform. And I'm blessed enough to have a welder, and so I'm just able to weld them on. Like I said, if you had a wider stock, 2-inch, 3-inch or so, I wouldn't have had to do this, but this is just a necessary step, an extra step, I guess, in this process. So here's the final product. I got all 4 lights now on there. They all work. I didn't show much of, or any of, the wiring process. All I did was just splice them in. I twisted the braids together and then put some electrical tape over them, and that seemed to work just fine. The one that faces the rear adjusts up and down, but I have it just mounted to a piece of angle iron at the top. I don't really need it to adjust left or right, so that one's pretty stationary. Each of them has a magnet, so every one of them can turn. You can grab it and turn it any way you want, face them forward, rear, to the side, and so that makes them very versatile. For my harness, I just use good old-fashioned zip ties. This seems to work really well. Zip ties are very cheap. If you want to access the harness, just cut them off and throw some new ones on. For anyone out there that wants to do the same kind of project with the magnets, I recommend getting the larger Harbor Freight magnets. Don't even bother with the smaller ones. You're going to have more peace of mind with the larger magnets. I also bought an accessory outlet extender from Harbor Freight. I don't remember how much that was. It's very cheap, but you can cut one end off and use that to splice in your wires, and then connect the other end to the accessory outlet at the bottom or on the side panel of the tractor, and that basically functions as your on and off switch. At the end of the accessory outlet, there's a fuse in there. When I first tried them, I burnt out that fuse. I don't know what amperage it was, but I put a 3-amp fuse in there and it seemed to work fine. And here's the night image. They turned out great, and I'm very happy with it. I don't recommend doing what I did. I take the hard way because I don't know any better. But I would recommend that you guys go to kensboltonhooks.com and purchase one of these ROPS clamps. They're very affordable. You can get 2 of them for $55 or $60 depending on the size. This allows you to keep your existing ROPS on, and these ROPS clamps work perfectly for the Nilight lights that are featured in this video. Hey, hope you guys like this video. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.